the hardest song I've ever had to write. I never thought I'd lose you in the night. This has been the hardest song I've ever had to sing. I never thought I'd feel this heart's lost sting.
And welcome back. It is our third episode. We haven't been discontinued yet. Kinz and Klomp, episode number 3, brought to you by our good old man, Martin Peel, from PADH Canine Protection and Detection Services. Martin is the guy when you're looking for protecting your business assets, home assets, and now just picked up recently a nice little tenure here in the city of Timmins. Gets to help out with the bylaws of, I guess, dog patrol for the next 3 years. Not too shabby. Is it because of our podcast? I'm just wondering, before all this happened, before our podcast, he was just Martin Peel at PADH Canine Protection and Detection Services.
But now, here's what happened. Martin signed on with us. He sponsored us for 2 weeks, and then he landed the big contract. Now, are they related? I don't know, but I'm only stating the facts. Signed on with us, got the big contract. The facts are just the facts, Kinsman.
And he's hanging on here for the third straight week. He's the first repeat client for the Kinz and Pod podcast.
There we go.
Kinz and Klomp podcast.
There we go.
There we go. See?
Week 3, we're going to figure it out.
And I'm losing my memory already.
I've been Googling a lot about podcasts, and they say you should always get the title of your show correct.
That's right. The Kinz and Klomp
podcast.
Episode number 3. Trois for our Francais.
Trois? Is it?
Yeah.
Trois?
Deux, trois.
Can you count to 7 in French?
I can.
Prove it, Kinsman.
Deux, trois, quatre, cinq, six, sept.
The big set at the end. Okay, so I want to do a set, and I know it's not set, but it's my local set. You know we like to talk about local news,
That's right.
Local stories, local events from local folks. Big news coming out of the city of Timmins last week. It was the Christmas tree lighting. Did you happen to catch it live?
I caught it on Facebook. Yes, I did. Mayor George Peary down there. A few folks knew what was going on, and had a bit of Christmas cheer that night. It was nice to see. I always like seeing that, even though we're in COVID times. It's nice to see people, getting out. They were socially distanced, having some fun.
So when much better than the Christmas tree lighting at my house? Because what I did, I had to put up and take down the lights 3 times because and I'm not going to explain this probably correctly, but at the bottom of the tree, the cord has to be able to plug in to the outlet, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it does.
To turn on the lights.
Right.
Pretty standard information.
Yes.
I'm not surprising anyone here.
That's why there's instructions on the box.
The plug to plug into the outlet always ended up at the top of the tree. So I told my girlfriend, here's what we're going to do. We're just going to run an orange extension cord from the top of the tree down to the floor, but she nixed that immediately.
Probably a fire hazard.
And it looks ugly.
A bit, yeah. Kind of tacky
It's
looking.
not, the extension cord doesn't fit in with the Christmas experience. So we revised that 3 times, and now we're on a roll. You doing any decorating at your house?
My little guys are. I've said this from day one. Little guys this year are finally at the age where Christmas is magical. My oldest is 4, little guy is 2, and I had the task of having them decorate the tree. It was only a miniature tree, 4-foot tree, but the little guys don't understand that you don't need 500 bulbs on this tree. And
a 4-foot.
They've been trying to put all the balls that have been in this bag on the tree. Now they're hanging them on, the Venetian blinds, any little nook and cranny on the wall, chairs, TV, the shelf. I've got Christmas balls everywhere in my house. But you know what? It looks festive, and I like it. And, they're kids, and the kids are having fun.
Do you have a Charlie Brown tree? I feel like you're leading me down that road.
No, I don't. No. As someone said online, the branches need to be fanned, so maybe that is the definition of the Charlie Brown tree. My little guys didn't do the fanning of the tree.
Do you know what's happening in Cochrane?
What's that?
The Festival of Lights.
It's
pretty cool. I was checking it out online. So they had an online competition. Decorate your house. The best lights. People vote. Every house looked amazing and really put a damper on my Christmas light skills because I just got the lights going up the deck. That's it. I would say I got about 30 lights outside.
I love the guy who does the one with the Grinch. Shows just one string of lights and the Grinch is running away with the lights. There you go. problem solved, or you just put them in a pile and say, here, that's it this year at the end of the driveway.
You know what made me a little envious? So the mayor had a contest this year for children to design his Christmas cards. Every single design was amazing, and every single design was better than anything I can think of, because I'm a stick figure type of guy.
Same here.
And we had some very young children doing this, and man, artistic skills have really boosted in our education system.
You know what my art teacher used to say? The polite way of saying you are terrible at art, Mark, was this: are you drawing with mittens on? That was my teacher's sentence the entire time. Are you drawing with mittens on? I never knew what that meant until I got a little bit older, saying, well, if I had mittens on, I'd be drawing crappy, and that's probably what my art looked like back then in art class.
You know what's pretty cool? As we're recording this podcast, someone from Toon Hub, or one of our producers, Peter, just dropped off a plate of bacon right in the room.
Just a random thing to eat during a podcast.
Nothing
right?
says more than I love you at Christmas than a plate of bacon.
Well, they're protecting us, right? We're in COVID times. They say if you can smell bacon cooking, you're fine. No COVID symptoms. So we can smell that from a mile away. We're safe.
What do you think of the city bus transit system? Pretty good, right?
Pretty good. We took a hop on one of those rides. Did you see the video? Of course we did, because we shot the video. Did we feel as dumb as we looked in that video? Like, we really couldn't wrap our heads around this transfer system. No. I didn't know what that little punched hole means. I think it was a time. You said it was the bus route or the bus number of the bus, but I think it was you couldn't use that transfer after 4 o'clock, which would make sense because we were there at about 1:40-ish. We got to the square.
It sounds like you did some research after the fact for you can have an intelligent answer today.
Well, did you see what we said for the yellow line?
Yes.
Right?
And the stuff
Who's the caption guy, by the way?
Well, hey, listen, I can't tell you all my secrets week 3, right? You know, you got to wine and dine me a little bit more, Kinsman. All right, Timmins Library. I love the library. I always have since a kid. It's still a wonderful place to go, but they got a good memory there. If you have an overdue book like from the 90s, they're still dinging up your name. And smart, right? They don't let people slide.
If you go through it, they tackle you. They've got someone there with the COVID, making sure that you've got the mask, you've got the sanitizer, and then something beeps. Do they know? Do they have sensors
Well,
now?
I don't know. I think I'm more talking
Tied
about
to our
their memory.
smartphone that books are hanging out overdue.
I'm talking about my memory. So I think I took out a book called The Best of Hockey Goals 1997. And then jump 15 years later, when I went to go take out another book, it seemed that one mysteriously disappeared, and the overdue charges were applied. So I'm commending them, complimenting them on their memory skills to make sure if you don't, because you never know, someone today may want to take out the Best of Hockey Goals 97 and refresh their memory. So good on them.
Back when Toronto was actually half decent.
This is your bullet point, It's the new pothole machine.
Yeah. Did you see what Timmins has? The city of Timmins and the town works folk here in the city picked up the new machine called the Python.
The Python.
The Python.
I don't think we could have picked a cooler name, right?
Right.
If you were to pick a name.
Who comes up with the names? Did they have a list before they said, you know what, Python works? What would you call it?
The Pothole Putter? No, I'm out.
I'd call it Doomed.
Doomed.
It's taking over the Timmins streets. Is this thing going to, fix our potholes, first of all? Did they design this machine knowing how bad our streets are in the city of Timmins when it comes to a
Will it
pothole?
actually pick your car out of a pothole? Does the Python do this, or it's just leveling everything?
I have no clue. It has one driver. There's no crew with it. One driver, one cool person will get to drive this $500,000 machine. Did you know it's a $500,000 price tag on this Python? There's one salesperson out there going, I sold one to Timmins, and he's gone.
Wouldn't it be cool if it was driverless and it just rode down the street, just cleaning up the roads at its own free will?
I think if you go to YouTube, if you type in, probably not the Python, it's named something else, in other cities, but it's that one that it's got the big hose on the front, fills in the asphalt as it goes.
We're a bilingual city, so what's Python in French?
Serpent? Serpent. the serpent.
We're gonna have to do some more research on
Right?
this. Are we
My
getting?
French is terrible.
Are we getting a figure 8 ice skating rink here this year? We had one a couple years ago.
We are.
No.
I think the work on the Hollinger Park. Why would you wouldn't want to ruin everything that they just did? They just finally got that park to where we could use it, and then of course it's too cold to go and use it now.
So you're telling me in a northern
You can walk
Ontario
it, though.
city where everyone loves hockey, where there's plenty of outdoor space and people love skating, we don't get a figure 8 rink?
Maybe not this year. Maybe next year.
Maybe next year. Where would it be then if it's not at Hollinger Park?
It would have to be at Hollinger Park, but maybe back in the ballpark, Diamond area. Remember they had the rinks at one point.
Do you know when you went there you get free pairs of skates to wear? Where do you think all those skates are right now?
I don't know.
It's going to be a pathway that's fully paved right now, but I don't know if they're actually going to ice it this year.
That's the producer Pete again. The guy
With
who
the talk back button, he's got the power.
he brought in the bacon
Oh, I'm the guy with the bacon.
and he corrected us on our pathway. No longer an 8. It's a pathway.
It's the Hollinger pathway.
Do we even know what's going on here yet?
We don't.
We don't.
Well, just go back to the yellow line in the bus video, and you'll see. Do we know what's going on?
Our relationship almost fell apart before the start of this podcast because you admitted to me, very silly, that you do not watch The Mandalorian on Disney+.
I don't. You know what? I even have Disney Plus. Picked it up. I thought my boys would like it, and I have never watched one episode of the Mandalorian. I can't even say the name. Mandalorian.
It's great, and you know what else is?
Should I be watching that? What should I be watching on Disney Plus right now?
Well, I was about to tell you before you cut me off. First, The Mandalorian, but I know you don't like Star Wars, or you don't watch Star Wars.
I've seen Star Wars, but I'm not in. If it pops up on TV, yes. Obviously it's there at Disney Plus, but I haven't watched it yet.
Okay. Who's Luke Skywalker's father?
Darth Vader.
Okay.
I know that part.
There you go. I'll give you a 1
I'm
out
not
of
that
10.
far out in left field.
You know what else is coming
I'm in
out
the
of?
bleachers.
You know what else is coming out?
What's that?
The new Mighty Ducks series. You like
Yeah,
that?
I do.
Is that something you'll tune into?
Yeah, I will tune into that.
Turns your crank a little bit more, that
Yeah.
one. Emilio Estevez is back.
Estevez is back. Gordon Bombay was his character. Is he still playing
He's playing.
Gordon as obviously the coach?
So the Mighty Ducks are this big enterprise now, and Gordon Bombay is going to coach a new group of misfit kids to go against the Mighty Ducks. A whole new 2021 spin on the thing. You like this?
I do. Remember Goldberg from the original Mighty Ducks?
He got himself
was
into a lot of
actually in
trouble.
jail. Yeah,
Yes.
he's not playing goalie anymore.
Things did not end well for Goldberg. You know, I was thinking the other day, did we remember people's birthdays before Facebook reminded us? Because, when Facebook, the first thing you pop up, it's so-and-so's birthday, you wish them happy birthday, right? And I guess people feel good. But before Facebook, it was a disaster. We missed many birthdays, right?
You know what? I think we actually probably got more birthdays back then. I think we relied too much on technology because, let's say Monday comes around. If someone's birthday's on a weekend, 9 times out of 10, you'll probably miss it because you're not watching anything online. And then you're always saying, oh, happy belated, happy belated. You probably, fill half your morning, saying belated to all the Saturday and Sunday birthdays.
Does a belated count as good as a birthday message on the birthday?
I think the thought that counts
It's not
comes into play.
I would say it's an afterthought. What do you think of that?
I don't know. But, don't forget people's birthdays. Maybe relationships. You never want to forget the other half's birthday.
So
Can you imagine.
I was out of some toothpaste this weekend, and much to my surprise, the local shopping mall in my end of the city, South End, Giant Tiger, was having the Midnight Madness. Are you doing any Midnight Madness shopping?
I can't even stay up till midnight anymore.
You can't even stay up.
I do the 9 p.m. madness.
The 9 p.m. Well, that's not bad.
8:59.
8:59
on a good night.
Midnight Madness only comes around Christmas time, right?
Yeah, it does.
Wouldn't it be weird, like Midnight Madness on June the 3rd?
They should have more midnight madnesses.
But then you'd have to get people to
What
work
about the
till
people
midnight.
who work shift work? Midnight madness might actually make sense, right?
We have a new name for the ski hill here. Get this. I'm going to break some news to you.
What's
You
that?
got to follow me carefully.
Mm-hmm.
It's Mount Jamie Son. You like that, right?
They named it after your son.
They did. Wait a second.
Austin.
No, Jamie. Hyphen, exclamation on the. So it's really Jameson, right?
Jameson. They named it after the mountain. Obviously, the mountain is named Mount Jameson. Did you know that Mount Jameson is an old extinct volcano?
A volcano in Timmins? Did it ever erupt?
They say, yeah, I guess if you go back in the geological pages of the history of that mountain, it's dried lava underneath. There is no lava underneath flowing. But my question is, the way 2020 has gone, wouldn't that be something if there's still time that lava starts to erupt around Mount Jameson, right?
So if you buy an annual ski membership and the volcano erupts and destroys the hill, do you think you would get a refund?
You get a refund.
What's the fine print on that? It might be different from Kamoskosh's fine print to Mount Jameson's fine print.
That'd be my luck, right? That would be my luck.
The first time you get off the chairlift.
The first time you get off the chairlift, you start seeing some smoke coming from the top of the hill.
A lava explosion. Are you a bunny hill guy or like a double diamond type guy? Double diamond is a hard one.
I'm usually the mediocre type guy. I can't even get off the ski lift, let alone ski. I think the last time I skied, it was the Lake Ridge Ski Resort back where I'm from, just outside of Ajax. And I can remember going down. Someone said, let's go down. All my cool friends were going down the Blues and the Black Diamonds, where I had no clue what a Black Diamond was. And there was like moguls and all sorts of weird things going down there. The rails. I think we were going down the snowboard park with skis, where I can't ski. I'm thankful I didn't probably break a kneecap going down, but that was quite the experience. So terrible skier.
You survived that misadventure.
I did.
You know what hasn't survived?
What's that?
An update on these missing bike posts. Now, follow with me. A bike goes missing in the city. Someone posts on Facebook, have you seen this bike?
You never see the updates from them.
You just stole my thunder. You're absolutely right here.
There's no updates from them.
We don't get an update whether it's been found, whether they're still looking.
Like I'm still looking for a bike from a few months ago.
Whether they purchased
if you're
a new
out
one.
and about, right? If you remember a bike, you're like, I wonder if that's the post.
It should be.
Is it still missing?
I'm committed to
we need an updated bike page in Timmins.
Here's what I do. Someone's missing a bike. I commit by showing usually the sad emoji because I'm sad for them. But after I make that commitment to them, I really do expect an update, a status update. They're just not following through for me.
No.
Maybe I don't look at these missing bike updates anymore.
I don't know, but yeah, an update would be nice, right?
So guess what?
What's that?
We not only have one guest this week.
We have two guests.
Who's coming up, Kinsman?
This week we have Kelseidoscope coming up a little bit later on in the show. She's going to play here a brand new Christmas tune, brand new here to Tune Hub and to the Kinz and Klomp podcast. And we also have Barb McCormick from the TADH Foundation to talk about the ginormous jackpot that someone's going to have a chance to win at the end of the 31st. The TADH Foundation, Timmins and District 50-50 draw. And we're going to be joined with Barb next.
Your timing's impeccable. Barb's here now.
And welcome back. It is our third episode for the Kinz and Klomp podcast. I'm Kinz. Over to my right is Klomp. And over to our far left in the studio, our amazing guest for week number 3 and episode number 3. She is the manager of donor relations at the TADH Foundation, Barb McCormick, joining us here this morning.
So happy to be here and meeting you both face to face.
Kind of scary?
Wonderful. Absolutely not.
This is the first time that we've actually seen each other face to face
Yes.
over the years of talking about amazing things that you do at the TADH Foundation. This is, a first where we get to put a face to the voices.
I miss these types of interactions, let me tell you. Ever since COVID came along, we really are challenged with being able to make those personal connections. So it's really wonderful to be here with you both.
Well, thanks for joining us. And we brought you to this studio because everybody, when they're driving down Riverside Drive here in Timmins, are seeing the big billboard now that is flashing as you come in from, let's say Timmins Square back into the city of the ginormous jackpot. The Timmins and District Hospital Foundation's 50-50, which is now at, as we speak, $167,000. Probably at the time this airs today, it's going to be even higher than that.
Absolutely. We are positive it will be higher. And the way we're pacing the track is really looking amazing to be another stellar jackpot that's going to go to a lucky winner or lucky winners on December 31st. So the next thing that's coming up, though, is a $5,000 cash draw and a $500 gift certificate from Cedric Burdett from Royal LePage Realty. And that's to be given for the early bird draw this month. So we're looking forward to giving that prize. And we are also looking at to continue building on the momentum of this month and having that humongous prize at the end.
It must be exciting to get that notification. I don't think we've had the notification yet. So, Jamie, you're not $500 richer. I'm not $5,000 richer. So you know what that means. Someone out there could be $500 or $5,000 richer with that early bird.
Well,
with a ticket.
Absolutely. There is going to be some very happy folks once again in Timmins, but a couple things I've noticed. One is the obvious, and I think my sentiment would be the same as everyone, how I wish the number on the billboard reflected my personal circumstances.
Right.
But more in line, why do you think, and I know it's the number, but why else do you think people have become so involved and invested in the 50-50?
Where the comment that we're getting from all of our players is they're able to help the community, the hospital, anybody who attends, all of the healthcare providers, and have the possibility of winning a large prize. The first and foremost opportunity that they're really pleased about is the fact that they're able to help our hospital because it's such an affordable way to participate.
And everybody around the province can purchase a ticket. Anybody listening to this podcast in the province of Ontario can buy a ticket at Timmins and District 5050.ca.
Exactly. As long as you are in the province of Ontario when you purchase your ticket, anybody can support. It really is amazing.
Another job I think you folks are doing extremely well is the marketing of the campaign. Anywhere that you go in the city, you either hear about or see the marketing behind the campaign with very attractive measures, with the number, with the early bird prizes. So what type of thought process goes into that early stages is, okay, we have another draw. We believe the number is going to be a good number based on trends, but how much effort goes into thinking, how are we going to market it this month?
So our thought process is really to have fun with the whole thing. If we were stressing of every finite detail, it would just suck the enjoyment right out of it. And what we're doing is just really having fun, creating something that we know people will enjoy and have a laugh about, and knowing that in the meantime, we're still doing some serious things by being able to purchase all this equipment for the hospital. So first and foremost, Jason Laneville has got some amazing capacity on creating Facebook posts that just generate enough laughter that, you can't even imagine where he's coming from with those. And we know that, the number is important, but I think that the way the community has responded to how we present that information is really important as well, because it doesn't matter if we're not showing who we are and that we're representing all of their good faith and good value. They're just not able to see that connection. But by having all of this humor and the fact that we're also showing the uses for the equipment that we buy, I think those are the key factors. So the marketing is really, really important, but we also make sure that there's a lot of fun involved with it, and it's just the facts. This is the prize, this is what we do, and we couldn't do it without you.
And it's a win-win situation. Someone's winning a large sum of money. Hospital's winning a large sum of money. And I'm terrible with, adding and subtracting. But adding the previous draws, September, October, November, and soon to be December, they all have the trend of at least $250,000.
Exactly.
This is, an absolute blessing for TADH, because normally in a non-COVID year, you wouldn't be making this type of money with, let's say, the golf tournaments in this city do raise a lot of funds, every other fundraiser that you do, but nothing to this magnitude, which is amazing. Almost hitting $1 million in your slush fund, which you already said, I was talking to you previously, you guys like to have $1 million just in case something happens at the hospital. $1 million slush fund, Jamie.
Well, you have to. Obviously, the hospital's an extremely important asset for our community. So if they do need the resources, the machineries, the tools, the money needs to be there because it's just not for Timmins. It is for our region.
For everybody.
So yeah, it's a very important landmark we have here, and you can understand why. But speaking of like the money in the slush fund, on top of that, I really love what you folks are doing, communicating what you're doing with the money. And I think that's a very important piece. Yes, people would love to win a big chunk of money, all of us, but also people want to know where that money's going towards.
Absolutely. We have that accountability to ensure that we're doing the right things for the hospital as well as the right things for the community. And, there is such a variety. We've pretty much been able to affect almost 5 different departments in the last 4 months. And, our plans for the future are going to continue as well. And then if there's anything else in between, then we can deal with those on a quick turnaround basis. Right now, we're looking at, in the next 3 to 5 years, is about $33 million in equipment that needs to be replaced. So that isn't something that we can just do overnight. So we're trying to move through that list as quickly as possible, with the ability through the lottery. But we have other types of fundraising events that continue to go on as well. We'll continue to have events when, COVID permits us to avoid all of the restrictions that are involved with face-to-face contact and interaction. And we do have some donors that, like to focus on providing large donations, like our corporate partners, or other donors who are looking at also the investment of an income tax receipt as well for their donations. And then we have the other groups of donors and players that just love the whole thought of, let's do something fun and help the hospital at the same time.
It's amazing seeing the pictures of some of the ER nurses posting their fun and challenges within the walls of the hospital. You think everybody with COVID, masks on, it's going to be a very tense, serious time, at least in a bad situation. It's nice to see you guys and gals up there at the TADH, still able to have some fun and, crack some smiles in behind those masks.
The impact that this has had on the morale of the hospital and the foundation has been tremendous, because people love to be a part of something that is so successful, and knowing that takes a lot of pressure off our healthcare providers, because they know that they can rely on the fact that we will have the funds. Our community, our district is supporting us with ensuring that we have the best care in Northern Ontario.
I do love how Barb talked about having fun. I mean, it is a key asset in any type of role. Jobs are serious and there's work to be accomplished, but you need to have fun, because a fun employee is a more productive employee. I used to be an HR guy, Kinsman, so that is a true slogan. But nonetheless, is there a better job? I guess more funnier if you're the recipient, but number 2, is there a better job than picking up the phone that morning at 11 a.m. and telling someone they won $200,000 plus? That must be a real cool experience.
The chills that you have when that person answers the phone, because the first reaction is, "Are you serious?" And then they say, "I don't know what to think," because I'm not sure it's you calling, that it's really the foundation calling me to tell me that I've just won the lottery. And I know what that jackpot was when I arrived to work today. So, I just need I need to have a few minutes. So we do express all of that. They love to share who they're going to contact first. And first and foremost, they always want to check their number. So we make sure to send them the information so they have proof from us that that number is the one that is in their pocket, in their wallet, in their hand, and they truly did win this jackpot. And then I reach out to them about an hour later, and we just kind of settle the nerves of
see how their bloods are, being a place where if things go wrong health-wise, especially with fainting of winning up $250,000 plus, you got to check the pulse for the winners.
The boys last month who all won from the Timmins Fire Department, the first reaction was, "How do I reach everyone?" So they scheduled a conference call and got everybody in, and really they were unsuspecting. So I think it's really fun when it's a true surprise, because this isn't something that you plan to have happen every day.
Well, you do plan when you're, picking up the ticket, but you don't plan that you're going to be the one, getting that phone call.
Yeah.
And those 7, they shared what was the jackpot?
They
Just over
were-
30,000 each.
Yeah, over 30,000 each. So it was really a good story for them. They really enjoyed it. Everyone had some, everybody had some serious plans for what they were going to do with their money. But we do know that a few of them had some fun with their spending. So this is good. You do deserve. Everybody deserves to have a little treat out of
Have a little mad
windfall.
money, right?
Absolutely.
Not just going for the bills, right? We're looking for the serious spender, right, Jamie?
Well, that's right. And we know that Mark here, he's a big infomercial guy. He buys any type of product, the as seen on TV. So I'm pretty sure the shipping at your house that week, if you had won the Timmins
30,000
50/50,
plus, right?
you
Yeah.
would have all these crazy ice scrapers and ShamWows, and everything would be coming to your house.
I thought it
certainly
was
would.
the island. I'm pretty sure you were looking at the island to own in Nantucket or something.
In Nantucket or no, just off of Maine.
Yes,
you
there
you,
you go.
remember that?
I
Good
do,
memory.
I do.
Hey,
'Cause
that
I take a look to see what's on the market for $200,000. You could have a lot of fun with that.
jetpacks. I know you can rent a private jet with a pilot and go anywhere on the planet with gas to and from 3 times on the planet for about $105,000. So just imagine you'd still have change. You would actually have that right now. The jackpot, going to be soaring into the $300,000. I feel a $300,000 jackpot come the end of this month. It's going to be quite the shock for someone for the end of this year. 2020's been a bad year. It's probably going to be righting a few ships there in the debt department.
We're going to say goodbye to 2020, say hello to 2021, and that will be one welcome reception. That person's New Year's is just going to be phenomenal. And in the fact that, we're doing so many wonderful good deeds for our hospital as well is just the icing on the cake, basically.
All right. So why don't we tell the folks who don't know, how do we get ourselves a ticket?
That's right. Timmins District 5050.ca. And the best bang for your buck, you do have 3 choices. $5 for 3 chances, $10 for 10 chances. And here's the one that I always get, $20 for 60 chances. 60 chances at over, $100,000 plus dollars, which it's just going to skyrocket. And again, $300,000, $20, why not? The firefighters did it. Get a few tickets. If you said 7 of them won, they all probably bought the $20 pack. They had that many chances to win, and look at that. They were the ones picked.
We have so many unique stories of how people are playing. So they get their ticket, mom's ticket, dad's ticket, the family ticket. So, there's certainly plenty of opportunity to be as creative as you like. And, that we do have some guidelines that or recommendations that you can choose to be able to ensure that, your ticket is going to your son, your daughter, or, grandparents. There's lots of ways to be able to help through with that. So we're more than happy to help anybody if they want to give us a call, but it's easy steps. And we've provided that information on our Facebook page as well.
Now, we should stress it's only online. You can't walk to the TADH and buy a ticket at a ticket wicket. It's only online, Timmins District 5050.ca.
Online, and the number that you see posted is the number that you win. It's not divided by 50.
It's already divided.
Like other 50-50 draws. The number that you see posted is the money you will receive if you're the lucky winner.
That is fact. That is the number.
See that, Kinsman? Fact.
Fingers crossed. It's going to be me. Maybe it's going to be Jamie. You can't win, by the way, but
No.
can your relatives play, or they can't if they're associated with you at the hospital?
Anyone. So the way we have the rules of play for employees of the foundation and board members and their spouses, partners, and children. So anybody within basically my immediate household
They
cannot
can't.
participate. No. My parents can participate. My grandparents can participate. But we do make sure that there are some parameters in there to ensure that the game is conducted on a very fair level. And these are all the same guidelines that are provided by the AGCO, which we are strictly governed by. So we do have there's a lot of fun stuff, but there's also a lot of paperwork for me at the end of every draw.
And wouldn't it be cool, Mark, if after New Year's, if the winners were available and willing to come on the podcast and tell us what happened the moment they got that call and how awesome their New Year's was.
Right? And, how many shorts you've changed or how many times you're doubting yourself because it's got to be a shock of, someone's life. And again, that's going to happen at the end of the month. And again, not only for the winner being very excited, but for the other half of, for the TADH Foundation where, it's not too often you can just walk in and pick up a transfusion medicine fridge. Pretty sure they're not your common fridges at, Best Buy here in the city. They tackle quite the price tag.
They absolutely do. There is such a range of variety. And, as much as we've had 3 draws so far, we have probably ordered and in over 200,000 so far. And now it's making sure that the selections are made for any of the, I'll say, bells and whistles, that come with some of the features that could be an added benefit for the practitioners and also the staff that run this equipment. But a lot of these materials are not common household items. So, there is a delicate process to ensure that we do have the right one, that we have the individuals to work these machines as well. And as well, that there's some way to be able to, to be able to use it in multiple functions, especially with some of the items that we're focusing on for the pediatrics and maternity ward. There is a specific piece that has to do with infusing medication into the preemies. And so that type of item is really warranted right now because they only have one that works for adult type of flow into the arm. And so this piece is just so delicate, and you can only imagine the size of a premature child that, you want to ensure that we have, the right pieces. So there's every department head is really putting a lot of emphasis on the ability to order something that is going to be multifunctional so that, they can use it in many of the departments. So it's really good in that respect.
What an amazing story. So it's not just about the money, and the money is the big draw, but bringing in assets to our hospital, assets that you, our family members, our loved ones, our neighbors may require at one point of their life, and you get to do it in a fun way.
That's right.
And rock in a real New Year's.
That would be one way to end 2020 and say hello to 2021. Again, over 167. I'm going to say right now at the time of this podcast, we're into the 170-plus range. Probably going to hit 200,000 into the weekend.
Absolutely.
Another 100,000 between now and draw date. It could hit astronomical numbers. A $300,000 jackpot could be happening right now. So, Jamie, you have your tickets, right?
I have my tickets.
I've got mine.
I don't have mine.
If we win it, we're going to buy Barb something nice.
That's right.
Since she can't play.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
That's right.
That was Meatloaf, right? Was it?
It is
From the
Meatloaf.
70s?
I think it is.
You know everything, Kinsman.
I don't know that song too well, but yeah, I think you're.
All right, why don't you
Hit
tell
the nail on
people
the head.
one more time how they get their tickets?
Timmins District 5050.ca. Once again, the Timmins and District Hospital Foundation's 50-50 jackpot. Going to be soaring into the $300,000 range. Mark my words. Get a ticket again. Timmins District 5050.ca. Always a pleasure. Barb McCormick, the manager of donor relations for the TADH Foundation. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Kinz and Klomp podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really am enjoying your whole process. I have listened to your podcast, watched your video this weekend. So I'm really hoping that you're enjoying your success. And I'm watching as the community is getting to know and find you as well. So I think it's really amazing what you're doing.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Barb.
Yeah, we appreciate
You're
that.
welcome. You're welcome.
Mark likes compliments.
I sure do.
As do I.
As do all of us, right? Yes. Barb, it was a big pleasure having you on the show. And from all of us here at the Kinz and Klomp podcast, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So you heard it from me first. Just had Barb McCormick, TADH Foundation gal in the house here at Tune Hub and a part of the Kinz and Klomp podcast. It's going to hit. That jackpot will hit $300,000 plus. You heard it right here. Get a ticket again. Timmins District 5050.ca as we continue along today for episode number 3, the podcast for the Kinz and Klomp podcast brought to you by our good friend Martin Peel at PADS Canine Protection and Detection Services.
You know what time it is?
What time is that?
Guess number 2. Who is it?
Kelseidoscope.
Kelseidoscope.
She is here. She has a brand new album, which is going to be debuting in 2021. And guess what? She's got an actual new Christmas song, which we're going to have her play right now in the studio, live, with her ukulele, the queen of the ukulele. And welcome back to our Kinz and Klomp podcast, guest number 2 here in our studios at Tune Hub, tunehub.ca. I'm Kinz, there's Klomp over there, and we've got the lovely, talented Kelseidoscope here in our studios. Kelsey, welcome to Tune Hub.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be number 2 for Tune Up.
2 for Tune Hub. You know, you never give me a great introduction. Lovely and talented Jamie Klomp.
Here's the lovely and talented, cheers for the Ottawa Senators,
Woo!
Jamie Klomp.
You're just mocking me now, Kinsman.
Mocking.
Right.
You. That's right. See, we're getting comfortable here. This is episode number 3. And I think, the facades are going away, right?
The facades are going away.
That's a big word for me.
I don't understand what it means, so I'm going to nod in agreement. But I want to talk to Kelseidoscope.
Yes.
Yes.
Kelseidoscope here in our studio.
First off, it takes a few times to get that right. It's such a cool name, but only a
Thank
cool
you.
name and a complicated name. When you mesh those together, what do you get?
Kelseidoscope.
Woohoo!
Wow. Okay. Fair enough. You do. Welcome.
Thank you
It's great to see you again. We've been involved before with the acoustic sessions. You were here for the Stan Fowler Streamathon.
Yep, that's
Also
right.
part of our top 10 here
Ooh.
at Tune Hub. You're a Tune Hub regular, of course, born and raised here in Timmins. And for anybody who doesn't know, the queen of the ukulele.
Oh, I like that nickname. Thank you.
Did you just
Who
come
came
up
up
with
with
that
it?
again?
I just came up with that. Yeah.
He's stealing all the thunder here. He's got the big introduction. He's got the self-titled. I love it. You really did your homework today.
I certainly did. I actually watched your 35-minute one of your Facebook lives
Ooh,
the other
thank
night.
you.
I knew you were coming in to
Yeah.
to chat with us, and I said I need to do my homework, just like Jamie said. And I sat through your 35-minute live. It was on a snowy October night, and it was jam-packed. 35 minutes of
That's right.
wall-to-wall ukulele favorites, and we're here to chat about maybe some news on the possible new album. You've got a new album coming out in 2021.
I do. I'm really excited about it. So I have around 1 song ready right now. It's called Would You Be? There's also a few little teasers on social media about that song. And I just want to let everyone know that for the music video, there will be a giant bumblebee.
A giant bumblebee.
Yeah.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we need a cool graphic for us too, like a giant rhinoceros.
Maybe.
Yes. I can see that. Yes.
The official logo for the Kinz and Klomp podcast.
When people think of rhinos, they think of us.
Yeah.
But I like this idea. So maybe tell the folks out there who aren't familiar with your music. I know you have a lot of different brands. And I've heard you play many times. I know you have some music geared towards children also. But
I
maybe tell
do.
the folks a little bit about yourself and what they can expect to hear when they tune into your music.
Sure. So, as you know, my artist name is Kelseidoscope, and in case you didn't put it together, it's a pun because my first name is Kelsey and my last name is Ide, so Kelseidoscope. But in addition to that, kaleidoscopes are beautiful reflections, so I try to incorporate that approach when it comes to writing music. So with every song, there's a lot of reflection, personal reflection that goes into it.
So actually, a lot of my initial songs were first written when I was traveling, because I got an opportunity to do a lot of reflection because I was traveling by myself. I'd highly recommend anyone do that at one point in your life. If you can go travel by yourself, it's really good for growth and personal development and reflection. And for me personally, it helped me realize how important music is to me and how much fulfillment I get. So yeah, I have to give myself credit for traveling by myself. It really helped me define my goals. Yeah, so that's a little bit about my approach. I, like you said, was born and raised in Timmins, and I've lived in Korea and China, which was pretty exciting. I'd also recommend, if you have the opportunity, to try living abroad, because that is a great growth experience. So you mentioned the kids' music. I was actually a TV presenter in China for an education company. So that kind of started that fuel and that love for making content for children. I also think there's more of a need for it. They're a great market, and I would love to make songs that are happy, but also, great for children's personal development, and hopefully still appealing to parents, if that makes sense. Like, I want it to sound nice for the whole family. So that's the thought behind that. Yeah.
I have a follow-up observation and a follow-up question. So you mentioned, I think I did something wrong in my past life, because you've traveled across the world and you've had different experiences.
Yes.
And I'm sure that brought a lot of inspiration to your music. Now,
Absolutely.
I did travel to Cuba once. The only thing I learned is I can drink a lot of mojitos at the pool bar. So I might have dropped the ball on that one. But has the travel, your life experiences, has those experiences driven the theme in your music?
Oh, yes, 100%. It's also like I said, it really motivated me to share my music, because traveling by myself really got me to be introspective and made me realize how important sharing my creativity with the world is. And music in particular, I think that's my biggest passion. And I don't know about other musicians, but to acknowledge that you want to be a musician, for me, was very difficult, because that's not, a clear-cut path. And there's all those fallacies about how if you're pursuing music, you're going to be a starving artist. So, the part of me that wanted safety and security was very frightened at that. But I do think if you want to live a really fulfilling life, you need to make whatever your heart is yearning to do happen. And it's not easy, but I think having a fulfilling life is more important than having an easy life.
And picking the ukulele out of all the instruments, can you play more instruments, or was it just the ukulele that you once picked up and, picked it up? How young of an age did you pick it up and say, you know what, this is what I want to start playing?
I like this question too, because firstly, I wasn't musical when I was growing up very much. Like, I would secretly write songs by myself. So in that regard, I was. But in music class, it didn't come naturally to me. I kind of struggled with it. But I always loved writing, and I loved singing, and I loved songwriting in secret. So I wasn't like other musicians where I picked up an instrument and I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with songwriting first, and then when I realized it would be a lot easier to perform my music if I knew how to play an instrument, that's what motivated it. So I was singing, telling my sister about this, my older sister, and she recommended the ukulele because I had been in guitar lessons, and it's been kind of going well. Like, my guitar teacher was really nice, and he said I was doing a pretty good job, but I was really struggling with the chords because I have really small hands. And I've seen like 3-year-old children play the guitar really well, so it's not really an excuse, but for me, it was a struggle. So my sister suggested the ukulele, and I also love it because it's the instrument of peace. So yeah, I think that's pretty in line with what I want to sing about, and I just think it has a really nice, pretty sound. So that's the story behind the ukulele. In regards to learning other instruments, I am currently learning the guitar and the piano. That's been great. I find the guitar challenging. The piano is coming a little bit easier, but still challenging. Learning a new instrument is difficult, but like anything, if you stick with it, it will come, and it's fulfilling to learn a new skill.
So Kelseidoscope is all over the podcast today, which is we're very thankful for, because the last couple weeks we've had to listen to me singing. So this is an absolute blessing to the audience ear.
It certainly is.
It is. And we've heard you at the beginning of the podcast and the full version at the end of the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us a little bit about that song, and then we got an exclusive.
Yeah.
We do.
So the first song I released is called The Way That I Do. I wrote it after my older sister, who actually, the one who convinced me to get a ukulele and was quite musically gifted actually, she passed away, and it made me realize life is really short and you should do exactly what you want to do now and don't procrastinate. So it motivated me to start releasing my music despite it being challenging and not really knowing how to go about it, but it gave me a motivation, like, don't give up, and it's okay if it's not perfect, but you gotta try. And that's what inspired my first release. And I made a music video that you can see on YouTube.
It's up on our Facebook page right now, or the Kinz side of the Kinz and Klomp podcast. I did a share just the other day, and people loving it, seeing the reactions, even seeing the reviews online. Spotify, there was a Spotify, I do believe the Spanish version of Spotify, like, this song is going everywhere. What does it make you feel knowing, you know, the ties, you know, special with your sister, and having that song, you know, resonate throughout the entire globe?
It feels great, because I think what's important about that song is honoring the special bond that you have with someone that you lost. And just because they're not on earth, it doesn't mean that your bond goes away. And there is some melancholy in the song. It's not all happy and positive. It does speak to the difficulty, which I think is important to also, you know, process the sadness. But it's also not just a sad song. It's, you know, to me, honoring our special relationship. And I think when you can do that, it gives other people permission to do it. And another reason I like it is because it gives me an opportunity to talk about grief, because it's a really important topic, and I know a lot of people who are suffering in silence, and I think that's the opposite of what we should be doing. We should be connecting over it, and people should feel free to talk about it when they need to. I think there should be more tools available to people about how to deal with it. So I like that it's given me an opportunity to talk about that more. I actually did a speech called The Gifts of Grief in Toronto, and that all stemmed from this song.
Oh, that's great. And I think you were really accurate there, especially in terms of grief. And we know we're coming into Christmas. Some folks do struggle in the holiday season, whether they've lost a loved one, whether there's pressures inside the house or conflict with family. So absolutely right. And, we're very happy to hear that you found a way to express your grief or express your communications with your voice in the song. And it's quite beautiful.
Thank you.
And the beautiful title of that song is also on those beautiful picture frames that are, associated through your Facebook page, which we just had a message tonight from a Darlene out there. Darlene, thanks for tuning into the podcast. She was asking about that frame. Can you tell us a bit about the frame? And obviously it's got a special tie to your sister Kyla, who
Absolutely. So, as I mentioned, the song is about honoring that special bond you have. And I noticed that I didn't have a framed picture of my sister and I, which I felt like I needed. So I tried to look for a frame, but special to the topic of someone I lost, and I couldn't find one. So I decided to make my own, as I like to do. If I can't find something, I always try to make it myself. And then I thought, if I want this, I'm sure there are other people who would like it, and it could help motivate people to, have a picture of the person that they're grieving and help facilitate that space and that healing of having that in their life. And I decided to make it a fundraiser for my upcoming album. And in addition to that, 10% of the profits will be going to organizations around homelessness in the Timmins community, because it's a problem that's increased during COVID. And there's also been like a little bit of judgmental reaction in our community on circulating Facebook. And I feel like I hope this can, you know, motivate people to think compassion first in terms of homelessness. I think that's the best approach.
So we have an exclusive.
We certainly do.
Kinz and Klomp exclusive.
Because normally this song wouldn't be released until 2021, but we kind of have a tie having Kelseidoscope here in our studios. You've got a bit of a Christmas treat for us today.
I do.
And we get to hear it live.
Excellent.
And then the audience gets to hear it live.
Definitely. It's going to be a lot of fun. What is the title of the song, and how did it come about?
Oh, yeah. It's called That Christmas Spirit. And it's actually quite relevant to what we're talking about. Like, it's not necessarily if you lost someone, but the winter can also be tough because it's cold and we maybe not getting enough of that vitamin D. So it's about how, you know, the winter can be hard and we have some, you know, sadness to process. But there is something about Christmas that helps us cheer up. And that, you know, it's a beautiful kind of cheerfulness that celebrates the simple things in life that bring us happiness, like family and friends and giving. So yeah, it's a testament to that.
Can I do the intro to the song?
I'll let you do it.
You've done plenty of intros in your life. Like I might as well get one.
I'll sit
right?
this one out.
This Christmas spirit. Okay. And that's not my intro.
All right, what is it?
Are you ready for it?
Okay.
Coming at you at the 2 o'clock hour. This is Kelseidoscope. Oh no, Kinsman. It's too much
You
pressure.
failed.
It's too
Do
much.
you need me to take things over?
It's Kelseidoscope.
Hey?
Coming at you at the 2 o'clock hour. It's
Why are you
Kelseidoscope.
talking like that?
Because
Johnny Radio.
yes, I'm trying to be one of those cool guys.
Cool guys. Got the
It's-
your hat should be backwards.
You just jumped right into my intro. It's this
Okay,
Christmas
here, let's
spirit.
let's try it again. Okay, just take your time. All right.
I get excited.
All right, try.
Well, I don't know if I want to do it again because you're going to mock me.
How about we let Kelseidoscope for her own
Fair.
song?
I did have 2 opportunities, and I did drop the ball.
Yeah, strike 3, you're out. We don't want to strike you out yet.
That's right.
We're still going.
After I only get 2 strikes in this podcast, so the floor is yours.
All right. So this is That Christmas Spirit. Sometimes winter gets me feeling down. I question my dreams and I question my sound. Sometimes this season got me feeling so cold. Feel like there's too much for me to uphold. There's things about Christmas that I can criticize, but when I let go and smile, I see why it's wise. Oh, that Christmas spirit, yeah, it's got me feeling good. Oh, that Christmas spirit, it's got me feeling like I should. Oh, that Christmas spirit, it's that simple kind of bliss. Oh, that Christmas spirit, it's that mistletoe kind of kiss. Sometimes winter gets me feeling alone. I feel like a stranger in my own home. Sometimes this season gets me feeling so dark. Didn't anticipate life's corners could be so sharp. There's things about Christmas that I can criticize. When I let go and smile, I see why it's wise. Oh, that Christmas spirit, yeah, it's got me feeling good. Oh, that Christmas spirit, it's got me
feeling like I should. Oh, that Christmas spirit, it's that simple kind of bliss. Oh, that Christmas spirit, it's that mistletoe kind of kiss. Sometimes life's pressures are too heavy on me. Start feeling the weight and I long to feel free. But something about Christmas makes my worries melt as I dance around the tree. Oh, that Christmas spirit, yeah, it's got me feeling good. Oh, that Christmas spirit, it's got me feeling like I should. During the season when I'm with those I love, I realize my blessings are all of the above. Sure, life gets hard, but this nostalgia has tips. Come together, give what you can, and celebrate what you miss. Oh, that Christmas spirit, yeah, it's got me feeling good. Oh, that Christmas spirit, it's got me feeling like I should. Oh, that Christmas spirit, it's that simple kind of bliss. Oh, that Christmas spirit, it's that mistletoe kind of kiss. Oh, that Christmas spirit, yeah, it's got me feeling good.
Wow. Absolutely perfect.
Fabulous.
While we're sitting here like paparazzi, taking pictures, getting videos for we can showcase the performance later on social media,
Right.
you don't get bothered at all by the outside distractions.
Thank you. Firstly, thank you for all those nice comments. For the most part, no, I kind of get my zone.
Right.
Yeah, it's really fun.
And noticing just the other night when I was watching your Facebook Live, you can carry a show. It's I think it's your bubbly personality that carries you through. Even when you stumbled,
Yeah.
it's just the lovable character within you that, you see the comments on that Facebook thread. You have quite the following here in
Aw,
the
thank
city.
you.
And it's great to see that your talent is, basically a rocket on the launch pad, ready to go. I've said this the first time I caught ears of your songs on the Tune Hub Top 10, which you had two of the songs on. Not too many artists in the history of me doing the show. I think I've been 14 weeks now on there. There's not too many artists that have had two songs
Ooh.
on the top 10. You had Sugar Maple Tree, and you also had We Belong in the Sunshine on the Tune Hub Top 10.
Oh, awesome. I'm really honored. So, yeah, that's cool because one of them is more for adults and the other one's more for kids. So we got both going.
Not like you're accounting or anything. 14 weeks on the top 10?
That's right.
He's not. It might have been 14. It's just a weird number to pick
Right.
out of a hat, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I've
That's
been here
right.
a pile of weeks now, and when I first caught Kelseidoscope in the top 10, I said this gal needs to stay here. It's how competitive it is here. There's a lot of local music, a lot of local
Lots of
musicians,
talent.
trying to vie for number one on the top 10. Sean Melanson, who spams everybody. He alongside you, it's a fun little countdown. Are you gonna try to get back in there? Like, your songs are still there. People can still go to tuneup.ca. You can watch the song and you can share the song, but it doesn't go by likes. I don't know if anybody knows that.
Yeah, I don't really know how it works. Could you explain?
Yeah, it doesn't go by likes, so you have to physically tell people to go to your page if you've got a physical page. Obviously, the songs are at tunehub.ca. You can watch the videos there. You can share the videos from there on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And again, it goes by shares and views, not by likes.
Oh, okay, that's good to know. I need to get more competitive because I just like to see everyone win.
You're the generous musician. You would rather have someone else that you know take number one spot rather than yourself.
I guess, and being number one's not necessarily what motivates me, if that makes sense. But I do want to succeed, but I want everybody to succeed collaboratively. But, there's such thing as healthy competition, so I should probably get a little better at that.
Well, you see what happened? We had a poll for the number one host on TuneHub, and somehow, believe it or not, Mark won.
7-1, not rubbing it in or anything. 7-1.
And do you see how he keeps
I didn't even
bragging
vote
about
for
it?
myself. He voted for himself 10
Look how much
times.
you're breaking. So
You voted for yourself like 10 to 13
You
times.
care about being you're cutthroat, my friend. You are
not
cutthroat
at all.
Okay.
See, that's where I'm more on the side of Kelseidoscope. I actually felt bad for you. I'm like, I'm 7-1. I actually felt bad for this guy. I'm like, geez, I'm already feeling bad because he cheers for the Ottawa Senators. And now I just slaughtered him 7-1 like a Leaf game if we played, the Ottawa Senators, at Scotiabank Place.
I don't think both of you have the same message here. Someone may be on the naughty list of Santa, and someone may be on
I'm
the
getting
nice.
a chunk of coal. So anybody else getting coal, we'll
That's
have
right.
a barbecue for Christmas.
You're like, I'll stomp on your back or your neck, but not too hard. Anyway, so where can folks go and find all your music?
So you can find me on Facebook, Kelseidoscope. I'll spell it for you. KELSEIDOSCOPE. A little hint is like kaleidoscope except Kels. So you can find me on Facebook. Instagram is Kelseidoscope Official. All streaming platforms are Kelseidoscope, and YouTube, you can look up The Way That I Do by Kelseidoscope.
And that one's up on my Facebook page. I tagged Jamie Klomp on his Facebook page, so you'll see it on either one of our Facebook pages, which I just took a view just a few moments ago. 1,000 plus views already on just that post.
Wow.
And people, commenting on where can they get the frame, which is also a nice little, a token
amazing.
for your
Thank
entire
you.
family. Darlene being one of them, saying, where do I get that? Now, they're $49.99 for the frame.
Yeah.
They can just message you, and you'll physically deliver like you did
That's
my
right.
package just a couple nights ago.
That's right. So I actually am launching my website, so people outside of Timmins will be able to purchase one and get it shipped. But if you're in Timmins, it's better just message me, and then I can personally deliver it to you.
Do we have a web address? Do you say web address
Yes.
still?
Web
Web
net?
address?
Yeah.
We have to be with
Because
the cool kids.
You never say
Nets.
you don't have to say www dot anymore.
Really?
Are you going to say that?
I'm glad you let me know.
I don't know.
I can pre-edit.
I think that's a question. Everyone,
Question.
there's 3 W's. There's nothing more than 3 W's ever. Like there's not
That's it.
2
Yeah, that's-
Z's or something.
that's a
Why
good
doesn't someone
point.
come out with 4 W's?
Right.
www.
Folks are probably waiting on the website address, but now they got to listen to us debate something that should be known.
Like, shut up, Klomp and Kinz.
All right, so
All right, so I'm going to put my cool glasses on and not say any W's. It's Kelseidoscope.com.
you have to say
surprised?
the .com.
We'll tag it on our podcast, and everybody can grab, an album. When your new album comes out in the new year, they can
That's
pick up a
right.
picture frame. Now, something interesting, your album doesn't have a title.
No,
So we're just
not
wondering
yet.
if you could name it the Kinz and Klomp,
Album.
the album. Huh?
It's a great idea.
We could save you a lot of trouble.
I'll
That's right.
certainly consider
Right? Put
it.
our faces on the album.
or just a slight revision, the Klomp and Kinz album.
Oh, oh,
Something to consider as option B. I'm just throwing it out there.
Great suggestions across the board. I will definitely consider it.
But do you have any titles in mind for the album, or is it still a work in progress?
It's
Like,
still
is
a
it
work
is
in
it tough to come
progress.
up with a title?
I like coming up with titles. Sometimes I overthink them though. Like I try to make them punny, and apparently overdoing puns isn't cool. I don't know. Debatable in my
I
opinion.
like the puns. I
I
think
like
I would
the
go with the
puns.
pun on the CD jacket than the non-pun.
You are a
I
dad,
would
though.
too.
and I'm a dad.
I've got a lot of dad-isms.
Right. So,
Same
you know,
here.
maybe other folks may not like puns, but
I can do this trick, right? The severing thumb trick.
so
right?
he is doing.
My toddlers love it.
Just for you folks know, because it's audio only, he's doing the severed thumb trick
You gotta put the Swami hat on.
in the middle of our interview, and no one seems to be too impressed.
I hope that my laugh is flattering because you guys have been making me laugh a lot. I hope it's not too too awkward.
It's our goal in life with this podcast
That's right.
to at least get one laugh.
One laugh, and we got it from Kelseidoscope. A huge treat. Once again, a big thank you for coming in and joining us for episode number 3 here on the Kinz and Klomp podcast. We'll call it the Kinz Klomp Kelseidoscope podcast today.
Like it. Thank you so much for having me, and I'm so glad you guys are doing this because it's awesome and things like this need to happen in the Timmins community, and you are perfect for the job, both of you.
Once again, a big treat. Kelseidoscope, Kelsey Ides here in the studios of Tune Hub. And if you're looking for Kelseidoscope's music, again, follow her on her Facebook pages, Instagram, Twitter. You can also find a link right here to the Kinz and Klomp podcast. And again, what a treat. We had her first debuted Christmas track.
Back-to-back amazing guests. Now they have to go back to us, Kinz and Klomp.
That's right.
But it's not all bad news, folks, because we do have a very special host here, Mr. Mitch. Is it Mitch or Mitchell Wilson?
I've actually never been called Mr. before, so that would be a first in and of itself.
There he
Mitchell
is.
Wilson joining us.
You guys know each other.
We do. We used to work at a place here in the city. We can't really say what happened, but I'm pretty sure people know.
Right across the hall.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I can hear your voice billowing out of the studio.
We no longer vacate that part of the city, so we thought we'd yap over here. So we'd invite him onto the podcast, episode number 3, to chat with us for the rest of today's show.
You know, I was listening earlier. I actually take issue, Jamie, with something you said. You were talking about how you were out of toothpaste, and that's actually never happened before. I'm calling your bluff on that one. Like, as long as you keep squeezing, you get your toonie and you work it to the end, the toothpaste tube is never empty. And there's people in Britain over there with teeth who could use that toothpaste. Okay, so I don't appreciate you throwing that tube out before it's actually done.
Well,
which is never.
Not a good start between me and Mitch because he sides with Kinsman. I guess the broadcasting guys stick together. So I
We
could
do. We're like this.
Fair enough, but you know, I was hoping someone would see my side because Mark has his name first. So you know, and he got to introduce the guests, and now Mitch Wilson took Mark's side, or at least went against Klomp. But listen, we're off to a sour start. But
Well, I wanted Mark's introduction, and you gave it to me, so I had to come out punches throwing.
What's that show? Three's a Crowd? Kinsman's just nodding. No, we're happy to have you here, Mitch. So this is a segment where we talk about some local stuff, some entertaining stuff.
What do we have going on? One of the big stories in the city, the Timmins Rock, despite not being in the stands to be a fan, are playing some of their best hockey in the COVID bubble season. And I was the PA guy for their last game. They took on the Hearst Lumberjacks as they kicked off the next COVID bubble, mini series, and they won 2-1 on Sunday afternoon. And it's funny, people are asking why are they playing 6 teams? It's because of the whole COVID situation. They played Chelmsford 6 times, and now they're playing Hearst for another 6-game series, and there's a space of 2 weeks in between, again, for COVID. And the Rock's sitting at 6-1 on the season right now. Great record out of the gate.
And you're the PA guy.
I am.
Can you do something right now? Like give me a goal and an assist and maybe a time.
Goal scored by number 91, Derek Sagan, assisted by number 19, Josh Dixon.
Pretty impressive, eh, Mitch?
Time of the goal, 1932.
Now I'm wondering, do you have any, like the color commentators for sports? They always got these weird expressions, right? Like, oh, he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, Gary.
No,
Got anything like that?
That's good old Big Al, who also worked with us. That was his job. He actually worked for Hockey TV before he moved on to greener pastures. But that's
Literally over in Huntsville. I'm sure they got some green
up
pastures
where Grandma
left.
hides the peanut butter. right? That's another a goalism, I guess, if you'd like to call it.
You know what we see a lot of in Timmins?
What's that?
The minute that there's one snowflake hits the ground, 7,500 snow machines start up. But we've had some news with these snow machines this week.
Yes, you can drive in the city of Timmins as long as you're going to and from your driveway to the trail system, your snowmobiles on the city streets.
So let me ask you a question, Mitch. Have you ever been ice fishing?
I actually have not.
What is the thing with this ice fishing? So I get it's fun to take your snow machine out there, right? And then you cut a hole and you just sit.
You just sit there with a line in the water, maybe a cooler filled with cool adult bevies, and you sit there.
And what happens after the sitting?
You hope for a bite.
Oh, you hope for a bite.
Yeah, pike, some good walleye up here. Apparently they bite. It's amazing how cool that water is, but the fish could still survive underneath the ice surface.
So if you're an ice fisherman now, that you can drive your snow machine down parts of the city roads, if I caught my limit, say my limit's 4 fish, I don't know, I can sort of hang them on the side of my snow machine.
Is that the cool thing to do?
Well, that's like bragging to my neighbors. You could do that now, right?
You're flashing your dinner, right? Because normally you go home and have a big fish fry.
I actually stick a mast on the back of my Skidoo, so the
we go.
fish can fly behind me as I drive.
That's an extra level of bragging
That's
right
it.
there.
I haven't done that yet. No.
Sports for kids in Timmins. I know it's very dear to your heart, Mr. Kinsman.
Yes, it is. Sports for Kids Timmins, in fact, closing their doors until the new year, January the 4th. As of the 19th, they're going to be shut. That's coming in from Colleen Landers and the crew. I actually sit on the board for the Sports for Kids Timmins team. And if you do have any applications or any questions about kids signing up for 2021 sports, they will, even though they're closed from the 19th of December until January the 4th, they still monitor their email regularly. That's Colleen who monitors everything there.
Very good. Mitch, you drive, right?
I do.
Is your car clean?
On the inside, yes. On the outside, what's the point?
So that tells
It's a Honda Civic, right? So,
but this tells me then on the inside of your car, you're very careful when you have a drink or if you have food in your car.
yes.
You have a system?
Yeah, it's like taking whatever plastic bag they got and spreading it all over my lap because I don't want the mayonnaise stains on the jeans either, right? So eating in the car is a very delicate procedure.
I think Mark can use some advice because you've had some issues.
This just happened over the weekend. My little guys, when they're hanging out with Papa, sometimes we go through the Tim Hortons drive-thru, and their popular drink of choice is a smoothie. So I get my boys one each. Hang on to it till we get home, and we'll get there and we'll drink the smoothies. I probably should have kept it in the tray because the minute I pulled away, all you hear is the big slosh sound. Upside down, I pull over. I'm thinking, has the entire smoothie left the cup? Yes, it has. Lands on the floor mat. My little guy goes, oops. I said, yeah, that's a big oops. But thankfully, it's amazing. Smoothies in a Timmins winter. It was minus 14, probably with a wind chill of minus 20. It actually started to freeze to the mat where it wasn't that bad. Normally, it would just, go all over the car. It actually caught the mat. I don't know, the Nissan Sentra mats that I have are pretty absorbent.
One thing I've learned about driving is, say if you go through drive-through, and I do like to eat my meal when I get home. Go through drive-through, eat the meal. But here's the problem. The drive takes a little while longer than you open up the bag and have one fry.
Because you've eaten them all on the
right,
drive
yeah,
home,
because
right?
you can't commit to one fry. Now half the fries are gone. You've ripped open the burger. The pickle's on the floor. The lettuce is flying out the window, and it just wasn't worth it at the end. So that's where my problem
Mayonnaise
resides.
on the jeans.
Mayo on the mayo's hard to get off a
Ketchup
jean.
on the white shirt.
That's right.
These are metaphors.
That's right. So Mitch, Mark has a bullet point here. It says almost Christmas time, gents, and I didn't have to read the paragraph because I know where he's going with this. I'm very much a gift card guy. It's the probably the gift that says you should be more considerate of others because there's no personality in there. But we also know getting the gift of underwear and socks is exciting to me.
It is. As a kid, you hated getting that stuff, but as an older gentleman, and I'm going to say this for all gentlemen out there, it's that time of the year where everything's now ratted, disintegrated, hanging on by a thread. Time of the season where we've only got, a couple weeks away till the big day where we can open up the Christmas sock and put on the brand new pair of socks, maybe the new pair of briefs. It's the only day that we actually have half-decent stuff is usually around Christmas and Boxing Day.
I'll give you a hint of how much shopping I've done so far.
None.
It rhymes with hero and starts with Z, so I better get moving.
Maybe
Maybe if there's a Midnight Madness tonight, I'm hustling over there.
You know, I do have a bit of a record here. I'm 25 years old. I've never bought in socks or underwear as an adult male since I've had enough stocking stuffers in my time between grandparents, girlfriends, and parents. I've never needed to go to Winners and pick up the value pack polo briefs.
You're still wearing the pair from 1990, right?
No, it's updated every year.
They're still good, even with holes. As long as the band is somewhat intact, you can put those pants back on.
I'm a bachelor. I can't get away with that.
Right?
Poor Mitch was just telling us a story about, how he doesn't have to buy. I don't think he was telling us he doesn't wear new pairs. He's just saying that, he gets new pairs every year.
The catalog is updated. It's like I have a subscription service to some sort
He's
of...
got quite the service out there.
Yeah.
Good for him. O'Gorman High rocking away with the new fundraiser?
Yes, they are. It is their annual fundraiser for giving back. And this year you have a chance to win 86 raffled off prizes valued over $11,000. And if you're interested in grabbing a ticket, they're $5 each. Just contact a graduating student or contact O'Gorman High School, 705-268-4501. And they would also like to thank all their generous sponsors. That's quite the prize pack. $11,000 is not chump change, as they say.
It'd be nice.
It would be.
Have you guys ever heard of Pad Patrol? Now, I was talking to Renelle Robinson over at Pad Patrol, and she wanted me to chat a little bit about their organization and what they do. And she says, can you also put some humor into this? I'm like, humor is what we do. And the one thing I can think about, if you've had a girlfriend or a wife in your past, and if she's asked you to go ahead and purchase some feminine hygiene products, say at the local drugstore,
Okay.
Have either of you, Mitch and Mark, I have to say that because I'm looking at both of you, just tell her, are you embarrassed to do this, or you just buy it like you're buying a chocolate bar?
You know what? I can do it with a little pride. I'm not as embarrassed as I would have been, let's say, back in my teens, buying the box, for the first time with the girlfriend, that box, right, from the convenience store. Anyhow, when it comes to the feminine products, it can be a little red-faced. But as one lady said to me at Shoppers, one day there was two kids in there, totally red-faced. You knew what they were buying. And she didn't have to say anything. She still rang it in. And then when the two walk away, she goes, you know what? If they're too embarrassed, like those two were, to buy this product, they probably shouldn't be doing what they're, what they came into the store.
The product
at.
started with
right?
a C?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But she says, to capture the face of teens coming in and, experiencing that for the first time, she says it's absolutely hilarious. But she says if you don't have the gonad, so to speak, to walk up there and say, here you go, along with your Kit Kat bar, it's probably not the time.
Oh, well, let me tell you about Pad Patrol. Mitch, my good friend Renelle over there, they're on a mission to provide feminine hygiene products to women in need located in the Cochrane District area. So if you're someone who is in need, the folks over at Pad Patrol, you can check out their website, padpatrol.wordpress.com, and we'll post the link on our podcast page. You can reach out to Renelle, and she'd be happy to help you out. So thanks for reaching out to us, Renelle. And thank you, Mark, for going off track with your C-word story. Not quite a feminine hygiene product, but a Shoppers Drug Mart product nonetheless.
Sorry, I kind of went off on a tirade there.
I love it, though, because it's so true.
It is.
It is true.
You've been in those shoes probably way back.
See, I never minded that because I was walking up to the counter and it can show I'm clearly not buying them for myself. So it shows that at least someone else in this world can stand me enough to trust me with this particular purchase. So that's all I got, fellas. I was like, oh, are you waiting for more of this story?
I guess the bottom line here is that maybe we've all been embarrassed. That's because we're stumbling across telling about our experiences.
Getting embarrassed is just talking about the embarrassing moment.
That's right. We won't take a photograph of the table right now.
Yeah, my face is red.
We won't.
Yep, sweating profusely right now.
So my friend Mitch Wilson, a fellow broadcaster of yours,
Yes.
has some pretty fun content for us today.
What's trending with good old Mitch?
Well, it's the news, but the kind of news that's like kicker stories. At the end of the newscast, they tell you about how a polar bear was deputized as a police officer or something like that. But all of it. Although we do have some more serious stuff in here. What do you guys want to start with?
Fun?
Yeah, okay, let's start with fun. Okay, so we births last year in Japan fell below $865,000, or $1,000. I got K here, so it made me say dollars. 865,000 people, which is a record low. In fact, the population is projected to go from 128 million in its peak in 2017. It's since been declining. They're estimating at this current rate, it'll be only 53 million, less than half, by 2100, which is a long ways away. So what they're doing is they're throwing a bunch of money in to AI matchmaking, hoping that people link up with the help of some computer loving. Quote, they already offer human-run matchmaking services, and some have introduced AI systems in hopes that they will perform a more sophisticated analysis of the standardized forms where people submit their details. So right now they got like income and age, and that's how they match it up. Seems very like a Japanese thing to do. It's like income, age, what is it? Go. But they're hoping to add also hobbies and values to this for your AI algorithmically matched partner. Jamie, what would your AI partner, based on your statistics, what would the computer match you up with?
Well,
I know the right answer is Terry. That's the one you have to give. But let's just
hypothetical.
Yeah,
you're
hypothetical.
Asking me.
Emphasis on the hypothetical.
Right. Okay. So first of all, this sounds about as unromantic as you can get. But secondly, I would say it's probably someone that likes to boss me around. I do like a bossy person. I find something very energetic about that. Someone who takes control. So I would probably pick the bossy quality in the AI. I would say someone maybe bald. Can I go bald? I really get jealous over hair. But I don't know. Like, do they match you up with you pick specific looks, personality?
No, you don't pick anything.
I get nothing.
Computer picks it. You just enter. You just punch in Jamie Klomp's details.
Right.
And then the computer says, "All right, this is your match." Now, I don't know where you go from there. I assume this is a voluntary service. It's like not like the state's going to be like, okay, you two, go now, get married.
I feel like we're going backwards because I know that, or maybe current, because there are some cultures now where you don't get to choose your mate, right? With prearranged marriages?
Prearranged.
I wonder if those work out.
It's like
I've heard they
it's like
actually
the
do.
reality TV show couples.
So
where
this is
love at first, or what is it? Married at first sight. Can you imagine going down the aisle with someone you have no clue what they look like, and they say, "Here you go," and then you walk down the aisle and get married, and then usually you see them, a week later after the show has actually been released. They've already split up, divorced.
So this is a prearranged marriage with a robot?
No, there's nothing prearranged about it. It's just a matchmaking thing. Right now, for the time being, it remains non-dystopian, but you know how this can go, or at least my creative mind can make that go all the way down the thing. So yeah, we've recreated arranged marriages. And I think for once, this would be a service that has less lines than the government equivalent. Like we all know the memes about Service Ontario, you're lining up forever. Well, us dudes can attest to the ones dating in the modern era. I think there's bigger lineups behind Chad on Tinder there than with the BMW than there is actually at Service Ontario.
This system's matching you up with real people then?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said AI. I don't know.
No,
I went
so
right to robots
the
here.
AI is matching people up with the... Maybe we've been lost in the weeds too far on this one. Let's go to the next one. Okay, okay. Porch pirates. Like, arg, I'd be sailing the 7 tree streets to look for your packages at Christmas time. Like, the porch pirates. What's the most creative way you can give me off the top of your head to stop these guys from taking your packages?
That's a great question. Well, obviously, you can put something in the package.
Cat litter. You can put, dog poop.
Mm-hmm.
Ding,
Something
ding,
in the box.
ding, ding.
Anything
We
in the
have a
Amazon
winner.
Boxes, right?
Hamilton, Ontario. Oh, why keep doing the shtick if you just got it exactly correct? Hamilton, Ontario. A woman has filled a box with this, Mark Kinsman.
Cat litter.
That is it. And is it now cat litter? That's a funny thing because that's one of those things I don't even want to touch when it's clean. You open up the box and I'm like avoiding the even it's been untouched, just straight out of the box. You pour it in. Cat does it, and it gets infinitely worse.
Now, does this not make it worse for the person who is the porch pirate now opens up this box, finds cat litter? Are they coming back with like a carton of eggs?
A strongly worded
revenge?
letter.
They obviously know where they picked the
manager.
box up, right? Are they coming back for a little grunge action?
Are you telling me we're not solving the porch pirates? We're escalating
I
the
think we're
porch pirates'
escalating the crime.
behavior?
I
Are
think
we?
we're escalating the behavior. Yes.
I think it would make a funny YouTube video. That's where my thought process
Well,
goes.
someone did that. If you type that in on YouTube, there's a box where they followed it being stolen, and then they open it up, and the confetti pops
Right.
out all over the person.
Or what do you call that stuff you put in money, like a money heist, and it sprays blue everywhere? What is that, ink?
The
Yeah.
dye,
The dye.
the dye bag, or the dye bomb, I guess.
Wouldn't it be funny if you like legitimately went to like your bank and took out like $25 or so? I don't think you got to take them out in 20s, right? You took out $40, and all of a sudden like the
I remember
dye.
the old Royal Bank machines used to give out fives. I used to like that.
Yeah.
Fives, and you know what? The Bank of Hong Kong banks, we used to have one in this city. It's gone. It used to spit out tens.
So you go to the Circle K, you get yourself a bag of Doritos, you put down the 5 on the table, and the blue dye just blows everywhere.
Because you stole it. How cheap
That
are
makes
you
him.
right?
Mitch is like, that makes no sense at all. He's probably thinking. He goes, first I couldn't sell you on the robot story that had nothing to do with robots, and we figured out his algorithm on the porch pirates, and then we went off on something else.
Yeah,
Bit
we
of a
broke the
tirade. It's a
algorithm.
tirade podcast today.
All right.
We're just going
Well,
on
back
on
to
a
Mitch.
tangent.
Well, so that's exactly what happened. In 40 minutes, she put out the package with the cat litter in it, the used cat litter. And within 40 minutes, this package was gone. She's, of course, I'm not sure she's watching the whole time. She probably thought it would take a little bit longer. 40 minutes, that's a pretty quick turnover. That being said, it is Southern Ontario, which I feel like actually would have a worse average time of a porch package than in Timmins. But anyways, I digress. 40 minutes, it's gone. Guy's caught on camera. So he's going to be caught. His crime was stealing it's talk about all risk, no rewards on stealing the cat litter package. I think that okay, so there's the true meaning of Christmas, true spirit of Christmas, and then there's Mitchell's spirit of Christmas, which includes a lot more justice. And this is exactly that.
Like I was telling you, the Grinch. The Grinch tells us that Christmas is about vengeance.
Justice is different than vengeance.
Is it?
Yeah,
It-
absolutely.
It
is.
feels a little on the negativity side, both of them.
Well, that's why I call it Mitchell's spirit of Christmas. Just a little more justice.
You're like
involved.
the Mitchie.
Sorry, the Justice League. It'd be different if it were the Vengeance League, right? It'd be the bad guys.
Yeah, none of them have love and hope and giving in there, so
Okay, fair. This one's just a headline, actually. Volunteers use flying flamethrower drone to incinerate wasps' nests in China.
what's the size of these wasps?
I think pretty standard, but you never know. Like, we had the Asian murder hornets this summer. So I wouldn't even hazard a guess, but it's big enough that or small enough that a flamethrower can take care of them.
I went to this cafe in Philadelphia, and this guy bakes this dessert right in the middle of the cafe, and to heat it up, or bake it, I think heat it up, he uses a flamethrower. So I think the flamethrower is used more for stuff than we realize as a regular person. And now it's wasps.
People shovel their driveways with
Oh.
flamethrowers on YouTube.
Oh, there's our next business venture.
There it is. You or just people on YouTube?
Just people on YouTube.
When I do something ridiculous and out of the box, I never admit it's me. I just say I saw it on YouTube.
That's usually the go-to response. That's
Right.
the safe response, right?
We need a surveillance camera, one of these AI love robots spying on Kinsman this week to see what's really going
AI
on.
robots. Still wondering. Do you have to change the oil
Did
once in a
that
while in those things?
Okay, wait. Did that not translate at all to you guys? Should I have done a better job? Like the AI, it's an algorithm. It matches you with someone who is a good fit. I don't know.
Well, I haven't been on the dating scene in a while, so I'll blame that on my rustiness. What about you, Kinsman?
I am well out of the dating scene.
All right, next time I'll have to
no dates for this guy. Still, taming my little guys right now.
pass me that millennial to Gen X dictionary. I'll do some edits here. All right, last one. One thing I know that will annoy the folks at Timmins more than talking about Toronto
What's that?
would be talking about California. But this sounds like something Billy Bob Thornton and Arnold Schwarzenegger would have started back in 1999. But undercover cops at a mall, and they're dressed like Santa and his elf.
That's a great idea.
No one suspects Santa of being a narc, right?
No.
I wonder if Toon Hub Santa would pick up that job here at the Timmins Square.
Possibly.
Yeah, that'd be a great job for him.
Tune up, Santa. Are you listening to this podcast? This is what we want you to do.
That's right. Nothing like the spirit of Christmas than to catch a thief.
And they did, my friend. First of all, the most exciting one was a carnapping, a Honda CRV sitting out in the parking lot. And I know I'm picturing Santa and his elf there with binoculars. I didn't see the video of how this went down, but they jumped into action. They got the other cops involved, and one guy got away with the car, but they caught two of the guys. Wait, I got quotes. Police video of the incident showed the officer in his elf costume ordering one of the suspects to get on his knees at gunpoint. A second suspect resisted arrest before the detective, dressed as Santa, rushed over to help. So they caught those guys, and then they also caught 3 people trying to shoplift and a brazen amount of stuff, too. One lady walked out with a straight-up shopping cart that she didn't pay for. Another guy tried to sneak out with $1,000 in Lego. Not on Santa's watch. That's the naughty list. And again, Mitchell's spirit of Christmas with the justice.
I can wrap this all up perfectly. I know where Mitch was going now. Someone ordered a robot love match.
Okay.
It was stolen by a porch pirate, but the porch pirate was busted by
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus. This is where you're going with this,
Yo,
right?
pass me that tinfoil. This is great
It
stuff.
all ties in together.
He wraps everything. He confused us at the beginning. He brought it all together at the. He's like the movie Inception, right? He tied it all in. A wonderful job. What do you think, Kinsman?
I loved it. Yes.
Yeah, he's good.
Great to have you on the show there, Mitch.
Now, if Mitch was to join us, I know Kinsman's name always comes first, Mitch. That's why it's Kinz. Would it be Kinz, Wilson, Klomp? Would I get bump the third there, or what's going to happen? Because you don't know. Mark's going to have to think about that.
No, I'll take last billing. That way you get the Wilson ringing off the ears, because that's what I love is the name recognition, right? I do that. That's why I'm posting on Facebook all the time.
There it is.
I'm kidding. The only posts I have on Facebook are when you tag me and stuff.
There's
good.
There is a lot of JPK. Someone told me the other day that they were in the midst of having their supper, and it was ruined by another JPK post notification.
Well, if they hate it so
awesome.
much, why they got the notifications on? That's what I always have to say to that.
That means a viewer, my friend.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, don't argue with them.
How do we wrap things up around here, Kinsman? That's your specialty.
That is a wrap for podcast episode number 3.
And our good friend, Martin Peel.
Yeah, Martin Peel is our sponsor for the 3rd week in a row. Our first repeat client for the Kinz and Klomp podcast. And Martin Peel is from PADS Canine Protection and Detection Services. Also just picked up his brand new 3-year tenure here in the city to help out with dog patrol and the bylaws with dogs and stray dogs here in the city of Timmins.
That's right. And before we go, they don't have to wait till next week to see us, because what are we doing on Thursday?
We're going to be hanging out at Dabrowski's
Live.
Smoked Meats Live. The podcast is now going to be a video podcast.
That's right. Between 1 and 4, Dabrowski's and Golden Crust Specialty Bakery.
That's right, Mark Durapo. And if you've seen the Facebook video, if you haven't seen it, it's up on our Facebook pages right now. Mark Durapo giving away a $400
freezer extravaganza.
bundle extravaganza.
Oh, it's gonna be it's awesome.
Isn't it going to be good?
It's awesome.
And all you have to do is tune in on Thursday here at the podcast. And you can find it at tunehub.ca. And viewers will have a chance to win that prize pack at the end of the day.
That's gonna be an awesome day down at both businesses. Like you say, he owns that corner, so we're gonna be live, and we're gonna keep things moving.
And everything's made right there. Do you think they'll make us have hair nets? Bake some stuff, because everything happens at Wilson and Preston. That's the corner where Mark Durapo has, set foot, and the whole here in the city.
Do you think I'm going to wear a hairnet, Kinsman? Is that what you're asking me? You're going to end the podcast on this note?
That's kind of wrong, right? Remember the one episode I asked you for hair gel, right?
You
have hair gel? Remember we were doing the promo pics?
You told me on the top 10 you're going to buy me one of those spray hair in a can type gimmicks.
I want to see if it works.
I want to know if we're going to get under 3 bald jokes a week.
No.
We're not.
No.
Fair enough.
I got to smarten up on the bald jokes, right?
All right, so we're finishing up with Kelseidoscope, her music, the right music, Timmins, absolutely brilliant artist. Load up Kelseidoscope.
This has been the hardest song I've ever had to write. I never thought I'd lose you in the night. This has been the hardest song I've ever had to sing. I never thought I'd feel this heart's lost sting. 'Cause so many know what it's like to love you, and so many know what it's like to lose you, but nobody knows what it's like to love you the way that I do, 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 This has been the hardest song I've ever had to know. I never thought I'd have to let you go. This has been the hardest song I've ever had to write. What I would do to see you one last time. 'Cause so many know what it's like to love you, and so many know what it's like to lose you, but nobody knows what it's like to love you the way that I do, the way that I do. And I keep having dreams where I feel the fullness of the pain, but someone up there's helping me so I can still stay sane. Our world was so colorful and now mine feels so plain, but I must remind myself our memories remain. So many know what it's like to love you, and so many know what it's like to lose you, but nobody knows what it's like to love you